Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. This is where accounting professionals just like you come to learn the most efficient and powerful ways to grow their firm, sharpen their sales skills, and have consistent increasing revenue. We cover topics from sales, networking, handling objections, negotiation, pricing, finding those ideal clients, and how to get rid of the ones that just don't suit you and how to set those boundaries so you can stop giving away your time, working for free, putting yourself on sale, and really start to get paid for the value and the worth that you bring to your clients. You'll learn tips, strategies, as well as hear others from personal interviews from successful accounting professionals. This podcast will show you exactly how to create the firm and life of your dreams full of abundance. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Our special guest has been a bookkeeper since before the turn of the century, and she is a mastery level certified Profit First professional, and she's the lead technical guide coach for Profit First Professionals organization. She is also a frequent contributor for NerdWallet, Accounting Web, and other industry publications. Our special guest started Pocket Protector Bookkeeping in 2012 to provide an excellent virtual bookkeeping and managerial accounting solution for small businesses that cannot yet justify employing a full-time in-house bookkeeping staff. She has since transitioned principal ownership of the firm to her adult son and went from 35 clients to just 10. So when she's not guiding others to permanent profitability, you can find our special guest on a hiking trail, lost in the woods on purpose. But before we welcome our special guest to the show, if you are an accounting or tax firm owner and you are sick of grinding 14 hours a day and sacrificing time with your family and friends and postponing vacations, I get it. It's a vicious cycle of pleasing clients, losing sleep, feeling exhausted, powerless, and depleted and burnt out. And I bet you want to come to an end. But to be honest, none of it's really your fault on why it's that way. And I also know that no one is teaching or training on how to really fix those problems and how to connect the dots so that you don't have to feel powerless and tired and exhausted all the time. So if you want to step up and take full control of your firm's sales with ease, then here's what I have for you. Myself and Denise have set aside the next couple days to talk to you personally about how you can apply different ideas like we're going to talk about today's podcast of growing your firm revenue, offering different services. And to be honest, whatever your challenge is, we've seen it, we've heard it, and we know how to overcome it. So head on over to theabundantcall.com to book your call today. It will be about a 45-minute to an hour phone call, and this is for firm owners. So you must own your own tax, accounting, bookkeeping, Profit First, tax resolution, tax planning firm. And now let's welcome our special guest, Billie Anne, to the show. Hi, Billie Anne. Thank you, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here, but, not everyone might know you. So before we start, I've done your intro, but I think it'd be great if you did your own intro and just share with everyone, 30 seconds to a minute who you are and some of the people you might work with.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Billie Anne Grigg. I'm the lead technical guide or coach at Profit First Professionals. I'm also a bookkeeper with way more than 20 years experience, which is so bizarre to be thinking about now that it's that far more than 20 years. But so I've had my own bookkeeping practice called Pocket Protector Bookkeeping, which I've since transitioned to my adult son. So I work with accountants, bookkeepers, and financial coaches, helping them implement Profit First with their clients. And then also just to generally grow better, healthier businesses for themselves and for other business owners.
Love it. I absolutely love it. And Billie and I met through Profit First and just a total rock starette. And I said, what you've done is really incredible, and how, you're at Profit First too and have a successful firm. But today we're going to be talking about, I think, one of your favorite topics, to build the firm you love using income targeting and what all that means to help, clients grow strategically and what all that means. So we're going to dive deep into that today. So if you have a pen and paper, you might want to grab it and take notes because, here at the Abundant Accountant, we're all about increasing revenue. So if you use Profit First, you can't really do any of it unless you have sales and revenue. So this is all about different ways to increase your revenue in your firm. So thanks, Billie Anne, for being here. And if you could just start out, what is income targeting?
Right. So income targeting, the way we approach it with Profit First Professionals is kind of reverse engineering the total income that you want for your business, your total revenue, based on a goal. So not to get too technical, but Profit First has kind of the above the line, which is your total revenue, and then you subtract some costs and you get to your real revenue. And then below that line, you have four main categories: profit, tax, owner's comp, and operating expenses. So typically when we do income targeting, we're going to base that on the desired owner's compensation. So what does the business owner want to bring home from their business? From there, we reverse engineer what the total income needs to be to get there. And then we start kind of just fiddling a little bit with the different parameters, different ways to get there. Number of clients, average sale per client, those sorts of things, all within the Profit First model. So we're doing this to make sure that the business owner can pay themselves what they want to pay themselves. And we do encourage them to dream big. None of this, I'd be fine with $30,000 a year in salary. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want, but don't limit yourself. Let's think big about all your goals. And then make sure that your business is profitable. You have money to pay your taxes because, of course, when you have a profitable business, you're going to have taxes to pay. And you still have money left to run your business.
Awesome. Love it. So can we go through a client of yours where you used income targeting with them? I'm going to guess that you also charge for this service. I'd like to know how that also impacted your firm and how it grew your revenue so you could build this firm that you love that now you've passed on to your oldest son, like you said. And how does the client grow strategically from that as well? So if we could talk about two sides, how does this benefit your client, the business owner, and then also the firm owner? How does that impact their top line? And how did you come up with a package, or how did you charge for something like that?
Right. Okay. So let me start by one of my clients that I worked with in my bookkeeping firm. We'll call him David. So, names are changed to protect the innocent here. But when David and I first started working together, he had a $250,000 a year business. It was a decent business, doing well, growing and all of that. But he wanted more. And the first thing that we targeted, of course, was his personal income. What kind of revenue did he want to bring home? What did he want to provide for his family? We backed into the number that he needed. So his first number that he needed was $500,000-ish, not exactly, but pretty close to that. So we took this, all right, so you need to basically double your revenue. Can you do that with the pricing that you currently have, the staff that you currently have, and the customers that you currently serve? And the answer to that was yes, with some exceptions, So, how long is this episode? Because I could talk for hours about this.
Here at the Abundant Account, we like to keep it short, tight, and to the point. So we'll keep it to a good 20 minutes to 30 minutes so everyone taking notes, their hands don't fall asleep.
Absolutely. So short, tight, and to the point, there were some client changes that had to be made, but mostly the changes was in pricing. He wasn't charging enough for his services. So when we looked at, all right, you need to double your income, does that mean you can double your clients? No, absolutely not. There are only so many hours in the day. So we had to do a mixture of, let's target some different clients who can pay some higher prices for you. Fast forward 5 years, all right, we have gone from targeting based on his owner's compensation because that is fine. And now our income targeting is around strategic growth in the business. Because now we have to start looking at what investments does he need to make in the business, because he's gone from $250,000 in annual revenue to he's going to hit $10 million this year in 5 years.
Whoa, that's a massive change.
Yeah, yeah. And it was a combination of that income targeting, starting with what he wanted from his business for his personal life first.
Which was the
Um,
500,000.
yeah, absolutely. And then, okay, well, now this thing is growing and it's growing and it's growing, and we're having a tremendous impact. And now we need to do some strategic hires, some strategic investing in the business to keep it growing. So, very profitable business. I mean, in the profit first model, the profit kind of tops out at 15%. He's taking 25% off the top for profit and sharing that with employees. So, yeah, I mean, it's a really, this income targeting thing is a really great way to position yourself as a strategic advisor. And that's the kind of guidance that our clients are looking for. They don't just want to survive. And a lot of people think the profit first model is all about fixing something that's wrong and then that's fixed and you move on. No, you can actually use this income targeting to grow a thriving business, an enterprise, if you will.
Wow, what a story. So, David went from 250,000 to 10 million, paid
Mhm.
himself over 500,000, has 25% of his profits going to his team and others. And
Mhm.
now, I'm sure a lot of people thinking, because I'm thinking, and a lot of firm owners are thinking, well, if his pricing wasn't right and he had to target different clients so they could pay higher prices, how did you support him and advise him, being the strategic advisor you were in this scenario, to do so, to make these shifts in his firm or in his business?
Right, right. So, I mean, it did not hurt any at all that he was a very receptive client. He was not resistant to anything because he had this open mindset and was ready to grow and still does. Values advice, very bright, very knows his industry very, very well, but really wanted to partner with someone. So that was key, number one. I wasn't working with somebody who was resistant to growth and change. And a lot of times we run into that, especially when we start talking about things like targeting different clients and especially raising prices. It's not just accountants and bookkeepers that can be resistant to raising their prices. Everybody's kind of afraid of doing that in the business space. But he was open to it. So that was really beneficial, really helpful. And then, we have grown together. So I didn't start out charging him, CFO level amounts of money. Obviously, it was more like beginning bookkeeper amounts of money. But we grew together with time and just built this really nice advisory relationship to where we bounce ideas off of each other. Sometimes he bounces ideas off of me, and sometimes I bounce ideas off of him too. So it's a nice collaboration.
Oh, that's awesome. So, what do you recommend as some of the first steps, like to your profit first clients or to a firm owner who's listening, on how to make this transition to offer income targeting as a way to help clients grow strategically and for them to do more advisory work where they're able to continue to build a firm that they love with higher paying clients? Like you said, David grew into a higher paying client for you. But what are some steps that you would recommend a firm owners take right now to start offering this and to start thinking more strategically than like having to just fix problems and being reactive versus proactive?
Right. So you have to talk to your clients. That's kind of step number one. Open the conversation. And one of the first questions that we ask is, what do you want for your business or what do you want from your business?
Hmm.
And those answers typically fall into a category of either something tangible, like they might have a total revenue goal or a number of clients they want to share, something like that, specific product or service offerings. And sometimes it's something intangible, like maybe they want a lifestyle business, or maybe they want, to be an owner and not self-employed, that sort of thing. And from there, you ask, why do you want this? And there's a reason that we ask these questions in this order, because ultimately, once we find out what they want and why they want it, we can put a dollar amount to it. People say, oh, money's not everything. There are some things that are priceless. You can put a dollar amount to anything, including freedom, because freedom has a certain amount of money that you have to have in order to have a freeing lifestyle. That's different for everyone. And it doesn't mean that, one answer is better than another. But you want that dollar amount because that really helps you, number one, have something to target on. And then number two, you can measure against that So when the client starts getting discouraged, you can say, hey, look, when we started working with each other, you were making 250,000. Now you're going to be a $10 million company this year. So
Yeah.
we are making progress.
Sharing in the profits, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so can you share on the firm owner side, from your point of view, how this helped you with your other clients, including David, and how you were able to use income targeting to build your firm and now pass it down to your oldest son?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
and how
So,
you price the package too.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I do income targeting for myself too. It's something we teach all of our Profit First professionals to do as part of our pricing program. So, whenever you're looking at your pricing and everything, one of the first things that we encourage our members to do is write out all the things that you're doing, look at your current clients, what's your average client revenue. Now, how many of these clients that you currently have would you have to hit your revenue target? A lot of times that's going to come up to 100 plus clients. And then the question is, do you want that many clients? The answer is usually no. Especially if it's a smaller business or, maybe just one or two people in it, the thought of serving 100 clients is just daunting.
Yeah.
Well, now we have to start organizing our packaging and organizing our pricing to where we have the number of clients we want, that we're providing the services that we want to provide them to at a price that we need to make in order to earn what we want to earn.
And how did that work out for you in the firm? For you
Oh my
personally?
gosh. Yeah, it was
If you could
amazing.
start like from the beginning and how long you've had the firm to, where it is now and you passing it down to your oldest son.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things that I wish I'd done it sooner. Because, right. I mean, and I think I hear that. That's probably one of the things I hear the most from Profit First professionals is, why didn't I raise my prices sooner? Why was I charging $250 a month for bookkeeping for so many years when I could have been charging 3 times that, having more impact, having fewer clients, and earning more money for myself, and then helping my clients earn more money and be more profitable as well.
And so for you, for your firm, how much in, revenue did you grow, or even percentage, if you don't mind sharing, by implementing this and, like you said, having more impact on your clients and reducing the client load? And if you could share how many total clients you even had in your firm, because I think
Yeah.
the mindset is, yeah, I need more leads, I need more clients. That's what I hear all the time. Michelle, I have a lead
Right.
problem. I'm like, nah, you got a pricing and conversion problem. That's typically what it is. You can't sell very well. People want to tell you you're too expensive, or someone else is going to do it for cheaper. So you're still seen as a commodity. And, you got too many clients on your plate and you don't have enough time to, like you said, have a bigger impact, have less clients. So how many clients do you have? And if you can share what that growth looked like over the time from when you even started.
Right, right. So, I mean, I went at my maximum from having 35 clients and being stressed out, and I'm making good money, but not the money I wanted to make, to having 10 clients, more time, more freedom, more money. So, I mean, that's what you're looking at when you do those really highly specialized services. And look, it's not for everyone. Some people like having a lot of clients, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me to have that relationship that I wanted and the impact that I wanted on that more personal level, I had to scale down the number of clients that I had. So, making more money with fewer clients, working fewer hours, absolutely. It was the best thing that I did. And again, it was one of those things that I just wish I'd done it sooner.
Yeah, and I'm sure, David and others probably refer you business now, and other business owners. I mean, to help
Yeah.
someone go from 250,000 to 10 million, and that you were probably, from his point of view, one of the most trusted advisors on the team, that
Mhm.
goes a long way. On average, what are you charging David now and the other 9 clients per
About
client?
2,000 a month. Could
2,000 a
I
month?
charge more? I could. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could totally charge more, but I don't, because I'm happy with
right.
where I am. And again, my son's taking on a lot of this stuff, so the firm's changing as it's growing and going. But yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's a lot different to have that trusted advisor
Yes.
relationship, and being able to go deep with those clients, with fewer clients. And I mean, I totally could do this with a staff of 10 or 15 people. that's absolutely doable as well. It's just not the direction that I wanted to go.
Hmm. And like you said, it's about what makes you happy. And that's always my pricing motto. What makes you
Oh, yeah.
happy? What are you doing for the clients? And if you have more time freedom, less clients, you're not, at your max, burnt out and stressed and overworked and underpaid, then that's all that matters. And yeah, could you charge your $10 million company a lot more now? Probably.
Mhm.
But it's up to you. But I think it's just, like in your bookkeeping services, Billie Anne, what other things are you doing on a monthly basis for these business owners, if you don't mind sharing? I know you're doing the income targeting, but is there anything else in addition to that and the profit first system plus the books?
So actually, we don't do as much as a lot of bookkeeping firms do. We do not do accounts payable. We don't do bill pay. That's for the client to do. We will help them set up a system and teach them how to use that, but we don't do bill pay for them. Payroll is something that we either outsource completely or we set them up on a service like Gusto that's full service and they manage that. Um, we do billing for one client, just kind of as an add-on service that we do. So it's more about what we don't do than what
Yeah,
we do. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, if I want to have a $2,000 or $3,000
I
a
have to
month
do
client,
more. Yeah.
I have to do more. No, absolutely not. And if you don't want to do something, don't even offer it as a service. Because for years, I thought that I had to offer accounts payable. That's something that a bookkeeper had to do. And I always hated it when clients would choose the package that had accounts payable in it because now I'm tied to their billing schedule again or to
Right.
their payable schedule. And finally, one day, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take it out and see what happens. And I would have people say, don't you do bill pay for me? No, I will show you. I will set up a system for you and show you how to run it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what we do is I mean, I don't want to say basic bookkeeping because it's some of it can be complex, but it's your basic bookkeeping, right? It's not full service back
Yeah.
office controller kind of
But I
stuff.
think you totally nailed it on the head because you're saying, well, if someone's going to charge 2 or 3 thousand a month for bookkeeping, they have to do all the things, the payroll, the everything. Where you're saying, no, here is what I offer in my monthly services, and you're doing the profit first stuff, so you are doing something unique and different.
Hmm.
But they can take care of those other areas on their own.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the one thing that I had to get over, and I see a lot of our profit first professionals have to get past it too, is this is so easy, and I feel bad for charging as much as I do for it. It's only easy for us because we know what we're doing. It's not easy for the client. If it was easy for the client, they'd probably be bookkeepers or accountants. They sure wouldn't be partnering with us to get the
Right.
results that they want.
And how did you
So
overcome that? How did you shift your mindset with that? If there's any tips and tricks that you use, because I do hear that a lot. Michelle, I could do this in 5 minutes. You want me to charge $5,000? I'm like, well, yeah. If like I had water leaking in my AC unit. It was like 2 summers ago,
mhm,
and I asked the AC guy, if he can come over and fix it and I'll pay a rush fee. And, I don't care. I just need it fixed because water was leaking everywhere. And he fixed it in about 30 seconds. And, it was like $1,000. And I said, no problem. Where most
right.
people might have just charged for that like 30-minute trip charge, or I've seen
Mhm.
that before. And it's like, if you know how to fix the problem, because if he didn't fix the problem, I would have had water damage, I would have had mold, I would have had a whole slew of other problems that might have fallen down the path. So in reality, it's about your knowledge and how well you do it, because a business owner is never going to do it on their own. Or if they are, it's going to take them forever and then they might do it wrong. And now you have a bookkeeping cleanup project on your hands.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So how I overcame that, hearing that story that you just shared in various different ways.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody's heard the story about the engineer that knew what pipe to bang on, or the software guy that knew what zero to take out of the code, or whatever the variation of that story is. It finally sunk in that it's only fast for me. And it's only easy for me because I've put in years of education and work and learning and testing and measuring and tweaking and then delivering this stuff and seeing the results. So nobody just coming out of school could have that same kind of impact. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are some geniuses out there that could do it, but just because it takes me, an hour a month to do it doesn't mean that it's not worth $2,000 per month to this client. They are getting that amount of value,
Yeah.
10 times over. Just from implementing what I'm suggesting and staying the course and having that accountability. A lot of it's accountability, just holding the client accountable to doing the things that they need to do to make their business healthy. There's a lot to be said for accountability, and it's something that a lot of accountants and bookkeepers don't necessarily want to charge for, but it is impactful. Not every client's going to get it. I mean, you're still going to have your clients out there that say, I could go to, this big name online company and they will do it for $200 a month. Well,
Right.
first of all, that's a starting price. A lot of times it's a lot more than that by the time it's all said and done. And then we won't talk about quality or anything like that. But if that's what they want, then that's fine. But they're not going to get the advice that they need to grow their business.
Yeah. And I think the other thing, including the accountability piece, is that educating them on the alternative. And if they were to try to do this themselves, or, if they, let's say, are a plumber and you attempted to be your own plumber for you, and explaining that's why you hire a plumber, because you don't have that skill set. This is something you do every single day. Some people listening have done it 10, 20, 30, 40 years, your whole
Right.
life. You're an expert in a very niche area and thing and service that people need. And, maybe it's just re-listening to all those different stories about the engineer taking out the zero, or the plumber knowing where to bang on the pipe, or me, like with my air conditioning unit. It's listening to those over and over again, because the alternative, if I didn't get it fixed and pay the premium to get them there that same day, and pay extra and beg them to come, could have cost me more in the long run. And I think a lot of times, as the firm owner, we need to think about how much extra would it cost them to do it themselves, go somewhere else. How many times have firm owners here seen books that have been messed up because whoever was doing their bookkeeping was too busy and too overwhelmed and too tired? And when they're tired, then they're making mistakes. So there's so many elements to this. So thank you, Billie Anne, for sharing. Is there anything else that you would love to share with the listeners that maybe we haven't covered yet on really how to use the income targeting to build this firm that they love or love better and get happy again? Or maybe even, like you said, not be so stressed and have the time and freedom to go from, like you were at 35 clients down to 10, and how to make that reduction, or anything else that you would love to share with a firm owner before we say goodbye today.
Yeah, so to me, the key element in this is you can do what they call bottom up budgeting or whatever, where you're saying, okay, this is the amount I want to make, this is how much I need to make to get there. The key, though, is to put this in the profit first framework, because otherwise there are some things that will slip through those cracks, like your tax payments, for one thing, or making sure that you have money for profitability, or maybe even making sure that you're strategically saving money for capital improvements or education or that sort of thing. So I can't stress enough that while you could do some income targeting or bottom up budgeting using more traditional methods, the profit first method, in my unbiased opinion, is 100% the way to go with this to have the
Yeah.
best results for yourself and your client.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to learn about, they're a firm owner, they're doing bookkeeping, maybe they're interested in becoming a profit first advisor and learning about that, how can they do that?
So they can do that by going to profitfirstprofessionals.com, or you can email me to billyanne@profitfirstprofessionals.com, and I can
Okay.
get you on the right path.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Billie Anne, for taking out the time to share your wisdom and your knowledge. And I'm so proud of you and everything you've accomplished, not only in your business, but personally too. We didn't even get into that today. But you're just a gem and just awesome. So thanks for taking out the time to be here to, share your love of what you're doing with others so they can implement in their firms and not be so stressed and enjoy their
Thank
life a
you.
little bit more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michelle. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you all so much for joining Billie Anne and I on another amazing episode at the Abundant Accountant Podcast. If you are a firm owner and you're still listening and you want to be like Billie Anne and go from 35 clients down to 10, and you want to go from being stressed out all the time to having more time freedom and having ease to go hiking like she does and do all the other fun stuff without, losing sleep and being exhausted and powerless, then remember, we have time set aside to have a call with you. So if you're fed up and ready to fix it and have a conversation about what you can do personally to apply even some of the ideas that she shared today on today's episode, then head on over to theabundantcall.com to book your call. And on our call, we're going to get crystal clear on a few things. So number one, where your firm's at right now and where you want to go with it and kind of what's keeping you stuck. We'll identify where you want your firm to be in the life that you want, but also ensure that you're paid first, avoiding all the pitfalls along the way. And so you can save a ton of money in the process. And we'll also plan out the exact next steps you can take to double your firm revenue at a minimum. So head on over to theabundantcall.com, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a beautiful day.